Evening, and welcome to our November 10th City Council meeting. We have a full council present, and if you'd please, we'll stand and Councilwoman Alma Flores will lead us in the pledge, and then the invocation. Louis Lorenzo from Bailes will give us the invocation.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
هي جودان يوسن شتا أنا شكسم كان جون بنانوش كان Safford the town of Safford vehicle yeah sana shiga shida ori elders though students teachers judges police officers families though lim shiga shi the not in what the leaders in the elected leaders the not in community members that link kan joni be Bon, din no shkam gautan shitak schools no and hospitals no on the businesses and the business leaders on leading no I didn't come here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did we have any citizen comments on agenda items, non-agenda items? None. Okay. Then we're going to move on to item number 7. It's a proclamation for the National Native American Heritage Month. The proclamation of the City of Safford recognizing November as National Native American Heritage Month. Whereas November is recognized as National Native American Heritage Month at a time, and it's a time to honor and celebrate the rich cultures, traditions, and contributions of the Native Americans throughout history. And whereas the City of Safford acknowledges and recognizes the significance of this month in promoting understanding, appreciating, and respecting the diverse indigenous people of our nation and of our region. And whereas we especially honor the San Carlos Apache tribe, whose ancestral lands include our community, and recognize their enduring legacy, resilience, their significant contributions to our economy, and their proud historic service as members of the United States Armed Forces. And whereas it is essential to reflect on the history, struggles, and the achievements of the American natives, fostering a deeper understanding of their impact on our society, and whereas this month serves as an opportunity for all residents to engage in educational activities, cultural celebrations, and community events that promote the recognition of Native American history, culture, and heritage. Now, therefore, I, Richard Ortega, Mayor of the City of Stafford, along with the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim November as National Native American Heritage Month in the City of Stafford. And I encourage all citizens to celebrate and honor the contributions of Native Americans, especially the San Carlos Apache tribe, and to promote inclusively and understanding within our community. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Safford to be affixed to this 10th day of November. And I would just like to add that when it talks about the armed services and all that, our neighbors have really represented and defended our country throughout the many years. And I myself would like to thank them for all the service and the dedication that they have done for us. Thank you very much.
Mayor, it does need a motion and a second to vote, please.
Mayor, I move that we approve the proclamation for National Native American Heritage Month.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation of the National Native American Heritage Month. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
I do believe they have a presentation.
Thank you for this opportunity and for also proclaiming November as Native American Heritage Month to the city and town of Safford. Just want to recognize one of our tribal leaders here, Ned Anderson Jr. He's a council member from the San Carlos Apache tribe. He resides representing the district of Bailas. My name is Louis Lorenzo. I'm also from Bailas, and these young men, this is Cree, this is Chasky, this is Hunter, they're also from Bailas. They attend Fort Thomas Elementary School and Mountain Turnbull Elementary School. So part of doing the prayer, we're going to also do a song, share a song with leaders and the community members. Thank you.
Good evening. As you guys heard, our traditional music, our traditional songs, it's who we are. And
Excuse me, would it be okay if we get a picture of them?
yeah,
Please.
if you guys, Lou, you gonna wait for a minute? But again, thank you guys for the opportunity that we're interlocking our culture into the city of Safford and our neighboring towns. I, for one, do not speak the Apache language, but the culture of who we are in our hometown, Louis Lorenzo, we consider him a medicine man. He's someone that we go to. He's someone that carries the knowledge. He's someone that leads us through the trials and tribulations that we deal with on a daily basis as tribal leaders and you as leaders. In a way, you would see and say that he's anointed this building. He has blessed the community members. We all deal with crises in our lives, and we see the crisis that's happening right now. But it's the prayer and the song that brings us together. And the best way to say this is that if you have a daughter and you braid your daughter's hair, that is what the song is doing, is that it's interlocking all of us together. Despite the color of our skin, us as Native Americans, we know that we are brothers and sisters. Each one of us are linked together, not by what God has provided for us, but what God has allowed us to walk on, the earth, breathing the air, the water that flows. That's everything that who we are. Mount Graham, what you see up there, to most people here is just a mountain, but to us, it's sacred. It's who we are. It's a heart. It breathes and it allows us to take in what God has given us. And the kids that you see today that are singing, they're the ones that are going to continue our culture. And I'd just like to say thank you on behalf of the St. Carlos Apache tribe for honoring our culture in this manner. And that we will keep Safford, Thatcher, Pima, our community in prayer. And we ask that you keep us in prayer, because the fight that we have is the same fight that you guys carry on. And it's a struggle. We all know how hard it is to be a leader. You're always wrong. You're always wrong. But God allows us to keep moving forward. And when you hear these kids singing, it opens up your airway that God is listening to us. Another generation is going to continue on our culture. But again, on behalf of the St. Carlos Apache tribe and everybody here, thank you for giving us the opportunity, and thank you for allowing us to express our song to you. Again, thank you.
You're welcome. And I know we will have you back, don't worry.
Thank you.
Can they come up here? Somehow look like you're playing.
You want to take the proclamation with you to hold down there? Or just, no? Oh. Oh, okay. Shall we come down? Let's
Yeah.
come down. Yes.
Okay, then we'll move on to item number 9, report on operational items. Number 1, the Citizens Academy update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm here to talk to you tonight about our 4th Citizens Academy we held this year. So we've done 3 in a row, and we did one previously in 2015. Our goals going into this were to provide some information and education to members of the public that were willing to take some time out of their busy schedules to come and hang out with us on Tuesday evenings for a couple hours for 6 weeks. So through the course of this, we had different classes from patrol, investigations, the range, scenarios, and a list of others. And I would say that we accomplished our mission in providing some education, but instead of hearing it from me, we have 2 gentlemen here tonight that have come to share their experience. If you'll give me just a few minutes, I'll start with Dave Young.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Like you said, my name is Dave Young. I'm an associate professor at Eastern Arizona College. Not homeless. Look. I was, as you can see there in the middle, sticking out like a sore thumb. I participated this year as well as last year, and I will participate as many times as they'll allow me to. Before attending the academy, I respected law enforcement. Not so much when I was a teenager. They tended to pull me over a lot. But I learned to respect law enforcement. But after these experiences, I've come to truly understand and appreciate the complexity, the professionalism, and the humanity behind what they do. So one thing that stuck out to me, and I mentioned this at the end of the academy, was that I found that these officers, from patrol to dispatch to the jail, I found them to be friendly, professional, and approachable. This program, it humanized not only this department, but the other departments that participated in this. It showed that our officers are not only highly trained, but they're our neighbors, they're parents, they're community members, and they care deeply about what they do and how they serve. The academy provided me a behind-the-scenes look at how the department functions day to day. We learned how officers train constantly to stay prepared for the unexpected. We saw how the dispatch center works as the heartbeat of every response, calmly coordinating to help during moments of chaos. We toured the county jail, which was a lot bigger than I expected and a lot more advanced. Not to say that I expected the jail from Mayberry and Sheriff Taylor, but I didn't expect that. That was pretty impressive. Especially appreciated the simulation exercises that we got to participate in, one in Thatcher with the electronic simulation devices, and one out at the range where we got to actually simulate exercises in the house, the fake house, and with the traffic stops. It showed just how quickly officers have to make life and death decisions. And experiencing even a small part of this was sobering and gave me a new respect for the judgment and restraint required in this profession. The K-9 demonstration with T-Max and Officer Maynor was a highlight, showing the skill and discipline behind these units. Range night was a blast, but it was very educational. We got to learn from very experienced firearms instructors. Hands-on practice using things like handcuffs, how to properly handcuff somebody. Something as simple as a field sobriety test taught me just how difficult it is to perform even when you're sober. It's hard, okay? But the experience alone deepened my understanding with how carefully these officers must evaluate every single situation. One thing that stuck with me was learning about body cameras. How useful they are, but also how limited they can be. Reminded me how there's always more to a situation than what a single camera can capture. Ultimately, my biggest takeaway was that these officers, they're part of us. They live here, they raise their families here, they put their lives on the line to keep this community safe. Safford and the surrounding areas, it's a remarkable community, and it's a wonderfully safe place to live. And that's not by accident. It's because of these dedicated professionals and the teamwork of their departments. The Academy not only gave me a deeper appreciation of the department's work, but it strengthened my confidence that our community is in very capable hands. And I'm just very, very grateful for the opportunity they had to participate. And I strongly hope that it happens again and that I'm allowed to be there, because it was an absolute blast. Loved every minute of it. These guys are awesome, and I applaud them. Thank you.
Next up, we've got Mr. Ed Lopez.
Mayor and Councilman, how are you? My name is Ed Lopez. I'm a retired Bachelor Store Director, but I have a lot of nonprofit duties that I do. And one of the things is I'm on the board of a bunch of groups, Safford Lions Club, Mountain Graham Safe House, Gila Valley Boys and Girls Club, and the Graham County Historical Society. But I want to talk to you about the Safford Police Citizens Academy, where I learned a lot about police tactics and gained a deeper understanding of how quickly, sometimes within just seconds, officers must make crucial decisions in various situations. I also had the opportunity to observe the different techniques and strategies they use in the field. It was such a valuable experience that I believe both prosecutors and defense attorneys should attend to better understand the realities officers face in the line of duty. This is a great program that involves the community, helps inform residents about law enforcement practices, and fosters a stronger sense of safety and trust within our community. I remember when Captain Clough was just a young buckaroo, and a bunch of the officers that are with Safford Police Department when they were just in high school and all that stuff, and seeing them as young men and now seeing them as officers in our community, and how safe that I feel we are. And not only did we see that, but some of the members in this area, some of your workabees were also with us, and it was really neat to have it. And thank you so much, and I hope it keeps on going.
Thank you both. I appreciate you. Our goal going into this is obviously to build those community relationships and to be able to have frank, open, honest conversations, and for us to hear the members of our community. This provided an avenue for that. We had great conversations. We had great interactions. Our goals are to inform and educate and entertain somewhat, and I think we definitely provided that. If we had more time, I would break down a slideshow and give you some of the scenarios that they got to experience, but I'll just tell you, we put them in a situation of a traffic stop where a suspect came out, was armed, and they had to communicate. There was a lot going on, and it showed some of the multiple tasks that we have to be doing as law enforcement. So it gave that firsthand knowledge, and I want to acknowledge our city manager participated in the entire program along with several other employees from the city, and just having that support, our officers felt it, and it was a good experience both ways. I think City Manager Sell and I had a conversation about how we go into this to educate, inform, and provide information to the public, but it ends up also being a great way for the officers to kind of step back and form relationships and be in a comfortable zone, I guess. We get to the point where we don't always have great interactions with people due to the nature of what our job is. So this gives us that opportunity as well to have a positive experience. So I just wanted to inform you as a success. Thank you for allowing this to continue on, and we look forward to continuing it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And we'll close our regular meeting and convene into executive session.
Mayor, I move that we convene into executive session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion.
Mayor, just as a point of order, the initial one on the agenda is for the P and Z interview. I would ask that we do the IT assessment first, only because we have a vendor who is an hour ahead of us, and I wanted to try to get them in as soon as we could, so you can go into the executive session, and if you like, do that first, and then you can seamlessly go into the P and Z process as well.
That's 20-1.
Correct.
I move that we convene into executive session.
Second.
We had a motion and a second to convene into executive session. All in favor?
need to vote to go back in. Hey, do we have to vote to go back in?
No, the mayor just brings you back in.
What'd you say, Bill?
You can convene back
they-
into
they-
the regular
okay.
session
You-
without a vote.
And
You
we'll
just-
go ahead and move
Mayor,
on
you-
to our work session. Number one is just disbursement of city funds to charitable or nonprofit organizations.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Matthew Hoschel, Deputy Finance Director. This work session is for staff to seek direction for the agenda item this evening on the disbursement of city funds to charitable or nonprofit organizations. Background on this item is that the mayor and city council approved to budget $100,000 in the current fiscal year for nonprofit and charitable organizations to solicit through an application process City of Safford donations. In prior years, city council has donated to many organizations in the valley. In your packet in the CCF, I have listed what those donations are for last year's nonprofits. We had a work session on the 22nd of September where the applicants had the opportunity to present their funding requests to council. And then in previous meetings as well after that, some of the nonprofits presented who weren't able to make it on the 22nd. We received 18 applications. The 18 applications were reviewed for completeness and compiled into a table. You have a binder that has that table as well as all the applications. During this review process, staff is recommending council review the applications based on the following criteria. Again, council is not obligated to expend all funds budgeted for the current fiscal year. Does the organization provide services to Safford residents? Does the organization receive alternate funding sources? Is there a parent organization that provides resources to the local organization? Does the organization provide services to an underserved population? Did the organization receive funding from the City of Safford in prior years? And then is the request for a one-time purchase or an ongoing operational program? And with that, you have the binder, and we also have a spreadsheet that I can fill in any of the amounts that we're requesting as council, and I'll leave it up to you, Mayor and Council, to discuss where you would like to provide funding.
If you would like, this is just a suggestion how we could start it. I know I have mine filled out as everybody else does. And what I could do is just start going down the list. And what I can do is say what the amount I want to donate, my feeling, yes or no, and bring up the amount. And if anybody wants to chime in and they have a different idea or they agree, we just move on it. And then at the end of the whole project, 18, then we vote on it. How would that work?
I think it would at least be systematic, right? So you can work your way down the list, get
Right.
agreement as you go.
And what I'd do is tell them, well, they requested 20,000. I said yes. I said no, and I, suggest 5,000. Something like that.
And it is a work session.
Yes.
So you don't have to go through the chair, and it's open to everyone.
So if that'll work, I'll go ahead and get started, and then everybody can just holler since I'll kind of have my back towards you. Okay, the first one was Desert Cat Rescue and Sanctuary of Arizona. Funding request was for 20,000. I put down a no. Last year, we didn't fund anything. I put down a no on it. Anybody have any?
I didn't put a no for anybody this year. I had a couple that I almost did for some of the reasons that Matthew mentioned. But I put it at a 4,000. I did mine where everybody's funded some, just so there's some frame of reference.
Anybody else?
But if we have a kind of a consensus, then we can just move on if there's a lot of other no's.
I'm wanting to give
Anybody else have any suggestion on it?
I had 5 on mine.
You're still talking Desert Cat?
Yeah.
I had a no.
I have it up on the screen too, the table, if you guys are.
Well, let's put something in there. Even if it's 0.
With what I heard so far, what, 2 no's and
I don't have anything for it.
3 no's and 2, or no, 3 no's and 3. 4, 5.
We can come back always once we get through all of
No,
them.
let's not do that.
Let's put a number in at least
Yes.
and then adjust the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so let's-
that's what I mean. After, I can put a number and we can come back and reassess afterwards.
Yeah.
I'll put 5 in because I think that's what the majority I'm getting the consensus on right now is some number, 4 or 5.
mhm.
okay, then we'll go on to Easter Seals, Lake Foundation. Again, they're requesting 20.
It's good to know that they are in
3
city.
wants to help us.
They're requesting
Around 15th.
20,
See, that's the answer.
and I have a no there.
I had 4 again. That was one where I was one of my 2 that could be a no, but I did an amount for every request this year. Mainly because of their budget and their parent company.
I did half. I did 10 just because it's for the bathrooms for the little babies so that they're potty trained, they have some privacy.
I had 5.
So it sounds like,
I'll put 5 in for that one as well.
yeah, and that's,
Vice Mayor?
I had 10.
2 10s, 3 5s, a no and a 4.
So maybe balance it out like 7,500 maybe? So let's do
I like
75.
7.
Let's do 7. And again, these are just kind of a first round.
okay, then First United Methodist Church, they're requesting 20. I had down 10.
I put 4 there as well, and this was my second one that I kind of didn't want to fund at all.
I really like funding this one.
I did 15 for this one.
I had 20, the full amount.
I like 20 for them too, but
About 15, would that be all right? Sounds like.
and
they
I
work.
think even 10 is fair.
Well, I think we can
Other
agree
concerning.
that there's going to be some sort of funding for that one.
So do 15, Matthew. And then again, we can adjust these, go back through them.
And I have
that-
it total at the bottom so we can see where it totals out when we get down there.
And that justification was it was a one-time monies. It would satisfy that the bus they are looking to get, it can match another amount that they are trying to get from somewhere else. And they could get the bus now instead of later. And it does serve many of the people. My hesitation was probably that it was a denomination, but the presentation also showed that there was only 3 people that went to their church. And I don't know if you remember presentation, it served the community more than I realized they were going to. So I wanted to fund them fully to try to get it done as all at once.
Any real heartburn if we just do the full 20?
Oh, I made, depending on what that means for other. I mean, it's hard to say no without knowing what
Okay.
that's going to cost
So
somebody
let's
down
at
the
least
road.
start with the 20, and then depending on where we end up, let's start with 20.
I do hope that puts a little more light on it though, Brad. for
Oh,
you.
it does, but you touched on the same reason I have hesitation. It's not just denominational, it's doctrinal.
Yeah.
If it were a food bank, for example, that'd be different to me than,
Yes.
than its purpose. But you touched on the same.
Okay,
Okay, then we'll go on to the Graham County Citizens Alliance. They asked for 20, I put down 5.
I also put 5.
I had 5 as well.
There you go.
Mount Graham, the Safe House, they asked for 20, I put down 10.
I had 9, but my math's just weird to get everybody, all the ones that, yeah, I would have cut in half, went from 10 to 9 to fund other things, but yeah, I had it at close to that.
And again, we did provide, but out of opioid funding, we did provide them 14,000 toward a position. So if you did 10, they're still all in there. We would have given them 24,000 at that point. So 10, is everybody okay with that? All right, 10, Matt.
10's okay. St. Vincent de Paul, they asked for 20, I put down 15.
I put down 10.
I put down 9 again, but that means 10, kind of, but 9.
Like odd numbers.
I don't, actually. I've got that odd number phobia.
Does this have anything
It's
to
an
do
even
with
number.
what we
Or
give them
evens.
elsewhere?
Sorry?
Does this have anything to do with what we give them elsewhere, like in dump fees or?
I believe that was wrapped up in it, but I think that some of the analysis that the finance director did put the number closer to $3,000 to $4,000 on average for landfill fees, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just curious if that plays into it.
It does.
This
Because-
would be so this would be to cover what was previously known as the waiver for them, is what they're requesting in their funding. They would no longer are able to get the waiver as of the beginning of this fiscal year.
So that's all that we're trying to accomplish.
That and they asked for other stuff in their application. That was part of it, was the waiver for that.
There would be more. So I don't know, would say 10, 15.
I had 15.
I heard more closer to 10, I feel like.
Had 10.
So it's 10.
10.
The Boys and Girls Club, they're asking for 16,000.
20.
I put down
Did
10.
put 16? Oh, yeah.
I put down half.
I've got a 9 again.
I like half. 8, 9. I'll go with your 9.
9.5.
I'll go with 9.
So a half is 8,
Half is
Let's
8.
do 8.
817, 819.
We're gonna need it somewhere else.
Finally got your 9, and then you throw it away.
No, I'm not,
9.95.
yeah.
So where are we on that?
Do 9.
9? Okay, our neighbors farm and pantry, they're asking 15. I put down 5,000.
I had 5.
5.
9.
I did 10.
Any more 5s?
Go with Brad. I'll go with 9.
I think it's hard with the current goings on to not consider that a need.
Yeah, I
did
can agree
10.
with that.
And that's kind of why, with the current going on, that's why I thought a little higher for St. Vincent de Paul, for what all they're doing, their food
Right.
pantry and all that, so. But we decided on 10.
Well, we haven't decided yet on anything.
So where are we on our neighbor's pantry?
About 10, sounds like. Is that, or is that too high? 10?
10's good.
Okay. 10. Downtown Association?
I had 10, they asked for 15.
I had 10 also.
I had 10.
10.
I
And
thought
then-
they had other contributions from us as it is.
Mm,
I think
think
right
this
now, this is it, unless they don't expend fully, they get to carry over, but usually once they get this money, they do a facade program pretty quick. So I think this is it, other than the fact that they use the facility, the annex facility.
Moving on, we'll go to Desert Seed Resource Center. They asked for 10, I put down no.
I put down 4. Again, we're 5, but I shaved off to get everybody covered, but I had 4.
I don't have anything for that one.
Anybody else?
What is, I'm sorry,
Seed resource.
Number 10,
what
She
is,
said no, I think.
I didn't
Yeah.
have anything down for it.
Didn't have nothing. I didn't either.
anyone else?
I didn't either.
So it's
Vice
no.
Mayor?
3 no, 4
No.
no's.
All right, yes, no.
Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage Corporation. They're asking for 10. I put down 1,000.
I put down a no.
I put down a no also.
I have 4.
I could go with 1,000.
Put down 3K if we could be guaranteed that it went to a Safford resident student. And if it couldn't, I would want to talk to you in later meetings that we have our own scholarship.
And they did say that they were committed to that still.
So where are we on that? I heard 1,000 and then what else?
With 3 zeros and 2,000.
I had 3K if
Three.
we can get, because that was
And I had
one
I had a
scholarship.
4.
That was at the level of one
A
scholarship.
3, a
Top
4,
one
2,
was
1.
1,700.
Some zeros.
Is it 3?
It was 27 at one
27?
time.
Yeah, we were already doing
27? Yeah.
close to 3, yeah.
So we should probably at least one scholarship, again, pending approval of
Yeah.
whether or not it's Safford resident.
Yeah, if it's a Safford,
Well, we
not
asked.
a Safford
Yeah,
student,
and they-
a
I did,
Safford resident
no,
student.
when I asked, he said they give it to the college and it's up to the college. That's why I said,
That's not the answer I remembered.
he said he tried, but they give it to the college and then the college makes the final
They
decision.
can make the request.
Yeah,
That's
they
not
could make the
necessarily where it
request.
goes.
So why don't we put it in pending
Understand.
confirmation?
If they can give it to a Safford resident student. I would be for that. If not, let's do our own scholarship next year.
Mhm.
So where do we stand there? Just, I don't know, leave it
You,
right now?
you could do the scholarship this year if you wanted to. I mean, if there's confusion. But if you want to at least cover a scholarship, and then we'll see,
Last year we did 3,000.
yeah.
I would like to see working with the new leadership with the Hispanic heritage, give them a year and give them a chance so that we can talk with them, see what we can develop that's positive.
Okay.
Can
Is
we
that-
pin that as long as it is a Safford
Yeah.
student? Okay.
Yeah, we can make that, if that's agreeable generally.
Can we do 3?
Yeah, I'm okay with 3.
Okay.
3.
That's what we gave last year.
Correct.
Okay, the Gila Valley Samaritan, home, they asked for 9,800. I put down 4,000.
I have 9, which is almost their whole request.
I put the full amount just because they need the tents and the food right now.
So can we do just 10 even?
Do 10.
I had been asking that the monies come from the opioid funds.
Some did, that was for a position, to fund a position. Generally, we provide them with a donation and we split utilities for the facility.
Can we, is there any opioid funds available we can give them?
Yes, and we did, we just did. We just
Did
gave them
14.
14,000.
Oh,
So we split the salary between us and the Samaritan Home themselves, because that person works with those who have addictions and consultation. So the opioid funding fit. They have other operational needs. That's why I think if we give them the other 10, they'll make good use of it. They're very active.
They're doing good work. There's lots of denominations that have a hand in it. That's why with what we give them now, I was hoping to get some of that opioid money for them.
We did. So far this year, we've given 20,000 in opioid funding to the Drug Coalition and 14 to Samaritan.
So where did we stand with giving them any at all, which I still would like to, but
I think we all have it at 10.
I think
10
we
even.
have 10 down.
10?
So 10 for that. We got that in there, Okay.
Then,
The Valley Arts,
Pardon? Next, Gila Valley Arts and Art Council, asking for 7. I put down 4.
That
We
was a
did
5.
contribute last year.
I did a 5.
I had 5.
7. I say 7.
So it's 5.
So you guys are gonna go 65?
I'll join your
Come on.
7, Arnold. You know I don't have to be arm twisted
Going
to,
once, go, come on.
About 6. Between 5 and 7.
Does anybody have real heartburn with 7?
I don't.
No. Go ahead.
All right, 7 it is. All right,
You can see their ad now. Their ads out in the media. They're bringing people in.
Okay, we'll go on to Seacus. They're asking for 6,800. I put down 10. We gave them 10,000 last year.
I have 5.
I have 6,800.
I have 5 also.
I have 6,800.
And they're having trouble, and a lot of these are having trouble, not only for what the government's going through now, but some of their funds are on hold and not quite sure if they're gonna return any more to the levels that we once had. So they depend on federal, state, and local funds to fund them. But some of their Meals on Wheels and the elderly programs and stuff like that are in jeopardy this time around. So if we have any extra, I would love to give it to them.
There's 6,800
68.
was for programs.
so how about 7 even? 7. And then Bulldog Booster Club,
Did you say 75? Was that where we
7.
ended up?
Is that what you like, 7?
Eh,
Arnold's
Additional
trying.
funding.
Can I get an 8? What about an 8.5?
Booster Club was asking for 6,000. I put down 3. We gave them 5 last year.
I have 3.
We agreed.
I'm good with 3.
I had 0, but that's probably left over from last year.
I have 0. I think the students can wash their laundry.
Vice Mayor?
we're on the
Booster Club,
booster clubs. We gave them quite a bit for the
Jumbotron.
Jumbotron last year. Haven't heard anything. I didn't have anything written down because I did want to hear from you and some of you Bulldogs, so I didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, I might have a conflict of interest at this point, but, yeah, that would get them something. And Dusty mentioned
Yeah,
the
3,
students
yeah,
can
I'm
wash
with
their
you
own
there.
clothes, but in the training department, you've got towels and things that aren't student owned that they wash. Most students, I think, take their uniforms home and wash them that way, but it's the items in the training room that towels and those kinds of things that they need.
I didn't know they went away from that. 'Cause it was like that when we were in school. We couldn't take our uniforms home.
Oh, maybe I think they've had to have been taking things home because they don't currently have anything.
And they wanted for their washing machine, I believe, but I'm with you,
Mhm.
Mr. Arbisel, 3K, what you said.
That's what I have. 3. 3.
They'll be able to wash them, they just have to hang them out to dry.
I did it my whole life.
And hard in Arizona.
All right, Gila Valley Balloons,
They're asking for 5. I put down 3. We gave them 3,600 last year.
3.
Good, 3 also.
I put down 2.
We tried to help them with their insurance last year, which they asked for 3,600. So if that's what their insurance is again, that's where I'm at still. What their insurance was.
so can we do even 4, cover insurance?
Let's make sure that's what it's for.
Yeah, that again, it works for me, but my math was everybody for under 100, and this math is going to be way over 100. It already is.
We're at 116.
116.
Right. That's where my 2 came from. It's
So where are we on the balloons?
Good question.
I don't think it says.
Can we just
On
do the
what they're wanting
3,600
it.
like last year?
It
If
just
it's that
said
free insurance?
I'm good with 3,600.
3,600, Matthew?
Okay.
Is it
I
in there?
think this is talking about for hotel rooms.
Yeah, I was trying to look as well as what their application says. It talks about goal sponsors.
Yeah, it has a variety of needs, insurance being one of them, so that's not gonna go away.
And it's 3,600.
Yeah.
Okay, the Stafford Lions Foundation asking for 34. I put down 25.
I put 34.
I put 34.
I put 34.
I'm putting 34 because we're lacking some cancer doctors. One of the businesses shut down, so more people are having to use gas cards and help from the Lions Club to go out of town for their appointments. I'd like them to get their full request.
That's 34.
34 for Lions, and then Big Brothers Big Sisters.
They asked for 25. I put down 15.
I put 0 just because they have such a huge budget.
I put 2.
I don't remember them being mainly our community that they served, so I was hesitant. I didn't know if any of you found out any different information or not.
Nothing more than what they put in the,
Nothing more than what was in the packet,
Yeah.
which was outside of our gente, outside of our people.
I don't want to jump ahead, but this is the last one. But Dusty, that's exactly why I thought the Easter Seals Blake Foundation was they have a $54 million budget.
So 0 on this one?
I put 2, but
Do they actually have a mentoring in our high school?
see, I don't know.
They didn't even
They
spell
explained
Leif
it in their
Nelson
application,
right.
but I'm not aware of it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Clearly, not everything I'm not aware of doesn't not exist.
Makes it difficult because they didn't come and present.
But,
For us to ask
but
them.
in the packet, I mean, I can look it up again. I got the packet, but I did think they were from out of town stuff.
It says they have roughly 30 students in the city of Stafford each year. I don't know if it's all in the city of Stafford's high school though, or Stafford's high school, not the city. Stafford High School.
So where are we?
0, I think.
They're asking for 25. Last year we didn't do anything.
I forgot what everybody said. I said 2.
I could go with 1,000.
0, right, on that one? And 0?
Oh.
If there's enough, if there's,
15? He said 2. What did you say?
He said 2.
I had 15.
Oh, you had 15?
Said
Oh,
15?
15. I would be okay with
were you a 0, Arnold?
No, you guys got it to where you want it. I'm happy with you.
Where are
What
we?
did-
Put something in and then see what,
15.
15?
where we,
I think you're at 15, Brad.
Okay, 15.
Oh, we have to cut.
this is where my 4s and 9s came from.
Cut 'em back
So
to
how
4s and
far
9s.
over are we, Matthew?
24? Matthew, 24,000?
124.5.
4 or 5. Now we have to whittle.
It's gonna be hard on an iPad.
Should we
I don't think I'm gonna be able to sort.
go back down or just pick some that, because I would go back to the Easter Seals Blake Foundation. What did we put that at?
7.
Oh, yeah, that isn't that high, but again, with that total annual budget of 54 million, that's what kind of,
It doesn't even matter to them. But we can actually affect somebody else. Can't affect them.
and I didn't have it at 0.
So it'll be 0?
Well, I'm not suggesting to go to 0. We could, that's just one I think I could live with shaving a little off of because of that budget.
So just based on So just, I can't sort it on the iPad, it's a little bit difficult. But our highest one is the First United Methodist Church at 20,000. And then we have the Safe House at 10, St. Vincent de Paul at 10, our Neighbors Farm and Pantry at 10, Safford Downtown Association at 10, Gila Valley Samaritan Home at 10, and then we have a handful at 7,000 with Easter Seals Blake, or Easter Seals Blake Foundation. I'm sorry, there's one at 9. The Boys and Girls Club is at 9. Gila Valley Arts Council's at 7, and Seekis is at 7. And then from there, we have the Desert Cat Rescue at 5, the Citizens Alliance at 5. We have then 3,600 for the balloons, 3,400 for the Lions, 3,000 for the Heritage, Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage, 3,000 for the Bulldog Booster, and then the last one would be 1,500 for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Would anybody feel, we have 10 for St. Vincent de Paul, right? I'd sure like to
Correct.
up it a little more than that. They do a lot for the whole valley, not just on.
And currently, we're over 24,500. So if you up that, more are going to have to drop.
We're trying to go down.
I have a question on the Samaritan.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we've already used opioid monies and given them. Are there more opioid funds that we could we give them 10 through there and
Yes.
0 through here?
We could, yes.
Can we do that?
I kind of, yeah, so 0 here and then give them through the opioid money again.
That works for me.
Now we've got
Yeah.
14.
What's that gain us now? Were you talking about sweeping the Easter seals altogether?
No, we were talking about sweeping the
Or
Samaritan
say
Home.
that?
Yeah, the Samaritan.
Okay.
We're also talking about.
It'll come out opioid.
So now we have 14,500 over.
I still had an amount for Easter seals. We can decide if we want to change that one a little, or I like the project. I just don't like their budget.
Maybe drop it to 5. Start dwindling
As
some
a
of
starting
those.
point, we could.
We had talked about
Yeah.
Take all the 10s and make them 9s like Brad said.
Or if you did that, then
Oh, I think, Matthew, we've said
5 for
5
the
on the
Easter Seals.
seals. My next one obviously would be the van, the church. I can't justify them being double of anybody else on here.
But it is a one-time, they're not
Right.
gonna,
One.
Right,
next year, they're not gonna ask, so everybody else probably is still gonna have
Right.
needs next year, except, I'm assuming. Maybe I don't understand.
They need a van to get the kids from the school.
What? Sorry, Matthew. What does that put us at? What?
12.5.
12.5.
and it doesn't preclude them from asking next year for
True.
something else.
True.
Otherwise, we've got to come up with some other cuts somewhere. Bunch of 9s if you want.
I'm good with that. Probably how you got there in the first place.
It is. And I had a 9 for the church as well. But it sounds like we're set on that one.
you had 9 for the Methodist.
Yeah, but that one's overwhelming support for 20.
Could we maybe lower the Boys and Girls Club to the 5 since they get some donations from us already? Because it's
But
for,
so does the safe house. I mean,
would 5 get them on their way to the kitchen they want?
I think it's 20 for the kitchen. Well, they asked for 16, so I guess
I had the Downtown Association at 5. I don't know where they're at right now, but
I'm at 10. We could lower that one
Nine.
to 9.
when I think of populations too, it's hard to go away from the Safe House or St. Vincent's or our neighbors. Then again, it's not the same population as
Do we still have funds?
balloons or,
Do we still have funds in that? We had that one category we talked about that we could pull the downtown association from. You guys said that that was going to go away after this budget. Could we drop the downtown off of this and pull it from that budget?
I'm not sure what that other fund is that you're referring to, because they
You're talking about
always
the
were part
project.
of the donations.
I'm sorry, Matt?
You talking about the project for the signs?
I think so. You had something that was separate.
That's unrelated. That's the Economic Development Fund. That's not their ongoing facade grant funding. That's just a project for signs in the downtown or wayfinding signs.
I think I'd like to fund people that need like food and type things.
Well, again, remember, these are choices you're making to provide assistance, and part of that is based on need. So those with the largest budgets have the least amount of need, generally speaking. And then again, local populations, right? Basically local orientation.
Did you sweep Easter seals or did you lower it?
I lowered it to 5.
How much, now is Tucson funding the Boys and Girls Club? Are they,
They're supposed to be doing fundraising. And of course, they provide expertise, in terms of running the club. But we still supply the rent at a very low amount. We do utilities. We pay for the recreation space in the back.
'cause we had 9,000 for that, is that right?
I think we funded them, was it 9?
Can we drop that? Because with 9, they have these commercial that they want, the freezer and the stove. I don't think that's gonna, but at least maybe 5 would get them the island they want and the utility shelving units.
And again, we're assuming that there aren't alternative funding sources. That's also a criteria.
They also have a
And
large
so one
parent
of the issues
organization.
they brought to us was they were going to be very good at fundraising. We don't know who else they've asked for funding or if they may get it from another source.
Right.
So we're gonna drop it from 9?
I'd be okay with
I-
like 4 or
five.
5.
With 5,
Do
okay?
I hear 9, Luke? Going once.
9 to 7.
So where we at?
5.
7 or 5?
well, we need to knock a 5 off there somehow. What would we, yeah, what is it currently at?
9.
12. Is that 9 now? 12, 5.
We're talking about the
So
Boys
take
and Girls.
2,500 off of that, 2,500 off the desert cap. There's your 5.
Oh, we do have it at 9, yeah.
500.
I
not
don't ever
5,000.
want to say that the kids aren't worth, but I also would like to see them actually do some fundraising. They've been promising and not,
Just
point.
engage Cheese golf course is coming.
This
golf
weekend.
tournament's coming up.
Right, this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
This weekend.
so they're gonna get all their money right there, I hope.
Did we decide if we were lowering downtown association? That one's at 10.
What's the number rank? We need to get down to 12, 12.5.
12.5, yeah.
We have to knock off 12.5.
Or Samaritan.
What, are we leaving the Boys and Girls Club at 9 or what did we decide? 7, 5, 5, 6, 5?
On the Boys and Girls Club?
Do 7.5.
Speak up
Change it to
before we-
7.5 and let's see where we're at.
We're at 10.
11.
We're at 11,000.
Downtown Association, drop it from 10. I wouldn't have any problem.
Downtown Association.
Both my organizations. Desert Cat Rescue. We're at 5.
Who's that?
Desert Cat Rescue.
Drop
We've got that one at 5. Did we drop it?
I don't know. That's what we're asking.
that. We didn't. We didn't.
We're at 5 right now.
Oh, on the top. I
Yeah.
dropped that.
It's not one of my priorities.
I do like their voucher program because I feel like it offers chance for owners to spay and neuter. But
Well, the truth is that from time to time, we get a complaint about properties with excess amount of cats in the area. The animal shelter that we fund through the county does not take cats. So there's definitely a need there that's being filled, and then they have their whole spay neutering program. So you are filling a void that no one else apparently wants to fill at this point. So it does help.
So we're funding 5 for the Graham County Alliance, but I did see that was, those wreaths were kind of high. I don't know if we'd be making that big of a dent on that one. Where did that one go?
We had them at 5.
What is it at right now? 5?
4.
I-
Right, Dusty, 4?
That's number 4 in the binder.
Now, they put the flags and that on during the holidays on the grave.
Reefs.
The wreaths.
Put reefs. They're probably about 2 years old. They're just starting out.
Say that again.
They're about 2 years old, I believe, and they put reefs out, not flags.
The other wreath.
So it's 1,500 flags. It would be 21,000 for them, but I don't think that even covers all of the veterans. Honestly, there's a lot.
It also is a county-wide service that they're providing.
Number 4. Mhm.
Where are we at, Matt? 11,000?
11,000 over.
That citizens line, it's at 5,000 right now.
I think this is where Councilman Hemphill's 9s come in.
We only have 4 of those. Are we leaving the downtown at 10? I would be okay halving it.
75. Was that the 75 or is that the Boys and Girls Club?
Boys and
We
Girls Club.
did Boys and Girls Club at 7,500.
Downtown Association was, they're asking 15, we had it at 10.
You can't hear us, Paulette? You can't see, okay.
I would be okay bringing it down to 5 so that we can still get like the safe house and them funded.
That's like the downtown at 5.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. And
What is the
okay with 5.
5 on
Yeah.
downtown?
And Dusty, where'd you say the other?
I was looking at the Graham County Citizens Alliance, number 4. We were doing 5,000 and the wreaths are $17 each, it looked like, but it's countywide, so I just didn't know.
Let's stick to 1 first. So we were talking about the Downtown Association. Do we all agree that we can come down on that one? I think for the most part, we're saying, yeah, let's come down.
Five.
Oh, Brad, did you?
That's what I had it to begin with.
Was
No, you had
5?
it.
The Downtown Association? No, it was 5, actually, that one was.
What are we at now?
At 5.
6,000 over.
Okay, we're getting closer. If we didn't do the Easter Seals Blake Foundation, if they held off on their restroom renovations, that would get us down to 1,000 over.
Or you could take $1,000 off your top 6 picks.
Yep, there you go.
I'd rather take it off the one, that this horse has had it, but, yeah, we ask other people to fundraise in other areas, and I realize it may just be a one-time, but I would just one more time suggest that something come off of number 2, if we're cutting everybody else,
I'm okay with
That's
that.
fair.
Number 2?
the church, the van.
What are we talking about?
It's at 20 now.
Cutting how much?
Hmm?
Cutting how much from that?
Some. I don't know if
Where
the
we
whole
gotta cut
6
down
needs to
to?
come from it, I don't want to,
But it was at 20 now. That's
Yeah.
where it's at now.
5 or 6 left? What do we have left to cut?
6.
yeah, I'm not suggesting all 6, but again, if we're going another 1,000 off 6 more places, and that's the one we're elevating above all else.
Yeah, let's take,
Before we went up
let's
to
take half
20.
of what we need out of that. Take 3 out of
I can't elevate it above most of the rest of what's on here.
it. They can,
17?
3's not hard to make up in a congregation like that.
17?
I love the Methodists, by the way. Can I point that out? That I love the Methodists?
About that tonight.
I want to point out, this is very difficult. I think we have a lot of
It is
great
tough to do.
organizations
Or
that
the Methodist Church, 17.
What are we at, 3,000 now?
3,000 left. You could get
Okay, Councilman Hemphill.
9,000.
Tens become
You know,
nines.
my thoughts.
999.
Take 1,000 off the 10,000?
we have 310.
I do.
Yeah, that's
So I was reading through,
The 9s.
kind of make more things a little bit more difficult, probably. The application that was submitted for the Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage Corp did not say anywhere that it was just for Safford students or residents. So I don't know if that's something that was brought up, whether or not that is going, or if it's just going to the Eastern Arizona Scholarship Fund. If they just donate money to that, and then the scholarship fund is the one that decides where that money goes.
That's what I understand.
That would be our 3,000, and then next year we can fund our own scholarship.
I'm okay with dropping those 310s down to 9s.
Eventually, it came to the surface.
Can we do that? Drop the 10s to 9?
I have no problem with it.
Any other
Yeah,
council members?
why not?
Good?
Good.
Drop the 10s to 9.
Can you run through those totals, the numbers for us again, so we can have those written down?
So the Desert Cat Rescue at 5,000. Easter Seals Blake Foundation at 5,000. The First United Methodist Church at 17,000. The Graham County Citizens Alliance at 5. Safe House at 9. St. Vincent de Paul at 9. Boys and Girls Club at 7,500. Our Neighbors Farm and Pantry at 9. Downtown Association at 5. 0 for the Desert Seed Resource Center. 3,000 for the Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage Corp. 0 for Gila Valley Samaritan Home. Gila Valley Arts Councils at 7. SECAS 7. Bulldog Booster Club 3,000. Gila Valley Balloons 36. Lions 34. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Arizona at 15. Oh, I did put this in there.
I would also, during this discussion, just like to mention, I think we should maybe evaluate this process and maybe see if there's a different way to do it. Oh, have we?
So then we're done. Now we just have to vote on it. So we can go through it
Not
again.
now, because you're in the work session. We do have an action item on the agenda.
So what I'll do is I'll take these numbers and I'll present them like this in the item later tonight. Hopefully not much later. And we can vote on it.
And I did want to point out, just in the work session, it is difficult, right? But I think what is important is that there is a lot of need in the community. And there is an element now where instead of us just rolling numbers forward, we're actually looking at a much broader scope in terms of the community and the nonprofit. So I know that the process is a little onerous, and we probably can look, as we go into the budget process, at looking at maybe something a little different. Again, it's interesting to watch and assess. It is difficult. So I do appreciate you guys taking the time to go through it.
We said 0 for the Samaritan home, but can we make sure that
Yes,
that's clear that we're doing?
I was going to point that out after I
Okay,
said it too.
thank
That we
you.
did, they did receive $14,000 from us in opioid money.
But they're gonna be getting an additional 7 from us,
I was going to do 10.
10. Okay, so 10 from the,
Yes.
and will they get it at the same time as this, so that way?
That will probably be easier. In fact, yeah, they'll just send us another email and invoice us, which is something everybody needs to know, Matthew, is that they do need to invoice us for what we give once we pass it. So, yeah, they should get it basically at the same time.
Mayor, I did go back on the minutes from September 22nd when they were here, when they first reviewed the applications. And I do have that Councilwoman Bradner asked the Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage if they were able to request for it to be a Safford resident, Safford student. Mr. Munoz stated that they are able to ask EAC that, along with when Vice Mayor asked, Mr. Munoz and Mr. Rivera both stated yes, that they are able to ask Eastern Arizona College to specify Safford student, Safford resident. Just for the record.
And you said Safford student again? Which-
Being a Safford student and Safford resident.
All right.
Mhm. And that was replied by Mr. Munoz and Mr. Rivera.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to item 15. We'll close the work session and reconvene into our regular meeting. Number 16. The new business, number 1, planning commissioner appointment.
John, were you going to present on Jamie's behalf?
I can.
Or I can, either way.
16-1.
Apologize, Ms. Zembeck is out sick, so.
So the purpose of this agenda item is staff is requesting the appointment of the one applicant to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Strategic goals, public information and outreach. The volunteers on the Planning and Zoning Commission serve an important role in reviewing code updates and development projects at public meetings. Background, Commissioner John Figueroa has made the decision not to renew his application for another term on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Staff would like to thank Commissioner Figueroa for his 12 years of service on the commission. City of Safford is grateful for all of our volunteers. Analysis, the City Council passed ordinance 22-002 to update the appointment process for Planning and Zoning Commissioners to read as follows. A, creation, composition, terms of members, vacancies, compensation of members. There is created a City Planning and Zoning Commission to be known as the Commission. Commission shall be composed of a total of 7 members who shall be residents and taxpayers. Vacancy on the commission will be filled by vote of the council at a council meeting. Any council member may nominate an applicant from the pool of applicants supplied. We obviously went through an application process. I won't read through all of this. So in essence, there is a vacancy on the commission. You have reviewed the one applicant's application. And at this time, you can vote as to whether or not you would like to appoint that individual to the commission.
It's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve Jeff Christopherson on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Jeff to the Planning and Zoning Commission. All in favor? Opposed? Done. Item number 2, disbursement of city funds to charitable or nonprofit organizations.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is an item, request for the mayor and city council for approval of the city disbursement of funds to charitable and nonprofit organizations based on the decision made at the work session. That decision was to fund, to fund nonprofits in our community with Desert Cat Rescue and Sanctuary of Arizona at $5,000, Easter Seals Blake Foundation at $5,000, First United Methodist Church at $17,000, Graham County Citizens Alliance Inc. at $5,000, Mount Graham Safe House $9,000, St. Vincent de Paul $9,000, Boys and Girls Club of Gila Valley $7,500, Our Neighbors Farm and Pantry $9,000, Safford Downtown Association $5,000, Eastern Arizona Hispanic Heritage Corporation at $3,000, Gila Valley Arts Council at $7,000, CKIS at $7,000, Safford Bulldog Booster Club at $3,000, Gila Valley Balloons at $3,600, Safford Lions Foundation Inc. at $3,400, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Arizona, Southern Arizona at $1,500, for a total of $100,000 dispersed to nonprofits and charitable organizations.
It's an action item. Any discussion or anything?
Mayor, I move that we approve the disbursement of city funds to charitable or nonprofit organizations as outlined.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve disbursement of city funds to charitable or nonprofit organizations. All in favor? Opposed? Done. And item 3, everybody have a chance to review the minutes of October 27th? Any changes? If not, it's an action item too.
What is it? Nobody gonna say it out loud that it's 500? Is that what it is?
We're on the minutes,
We're doing
Mr.
the
Lopez.
minutes.
Minutes, all right, good, I'm ready.
Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes from October 27th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the council minutes from October 27th, 2020.
Mayor, Vice Mayor has a question.
No,
Sorry.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I'm staying ahead.
All in favor?
Mm.
Okay, done. Number 4, holiday bonus 2025.
This is a request for the mayor and city council to approve a 2025 holiday bonus check for City of Safford employees. The strategic goal on this one is financial management, also is human resource management. Council has provided holiday bonus pay for employees in the past. The council approved through the FY26 budget process the appropriation of up to $166,900 for holiday bonus pay. The holiday bonus budget for fiscal year 26 is a gross net bonus of up to $500 for full-time staff, part-time staff, city council, and volunteer firefighters. Funding for these holiday bonuses was budgeted up to $166,900. The actual amount would be up to $156,345. The table below shows the breakdown of each fund, which you can't see, but now you can. The funding for these by fund. And with that, I'll turn it over to council.
Once again, I don't think council should be included in the budget. In the bonuses, we're not technically employees. We don't go out there and do the day-to-day work. I don't feel we should receive them.
I believe technically you are employees. Point taken, but I think technically you are considered employees.
Depends.
Huh?
We play that card both ways. We do. We say we're not employees on some things. This is for employees, this is for elected officials. But then on other things, we say, nope, you're employees. So we have to stick with one or the other. I just don't feel like we're not a city employee. We're elected.
Does this include, I don't remember reading, this does include part-time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It does include part-time staff at up to $500.
My counter to Dusty is the same as it was last year. I won't always be on the council, but it's just one more small enticement maybe to get more people to run. I suggest and promote also at times when it's come up, even an increase in the compensation for council for that reason, to maybe generate more interest in the in people wanting to maybe serve. So that's my reasoning again.
Anybody, it's an action item.
And I've been for years that council didn't get it. That's the way I still feel, so that's out there.
We need a motion or?
Mayor, I move that we approve the holiday bonus in the amount of $500 as presented.
We have a motion and a second to approve the holiday bonuses for 2025 as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
You can always donate it back. One of these charities, please.
Number 6.
Thank you.
Request,
Did it pass? Yes.
Number 6, request for the mayor and the city council to approve a purchase of the driving range. For driving range.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Eric Bejarano, your Assistant City Manager. You may remember 2 weeks ago, I brought to you several requests to reallocate CIP funds previously approved for the golf course. This is the first project in line with those reallocations. In the last 2 weeks, city staff has met numerous times with our partner at the golf course, Troon. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Mr. Alan Ashton, our General Manager, for joining us again this evening in the audience. Purpose, this is a request for Mayor and Council to review and approve the City of Safford Mount Graham Golf Club Driving Range Enhancement Project of 20 covered bays in the amount of $213,750. Strategic goals include quality of life, growth, and development. The background, pardon me, Mount Graham Golf Club is owned by the City of Safford and operated by our managing partner, Troon. On October 27, 2025, Council was presented with the new vision of the golf course and approved CIP projects that included the driving range. Council approved $340,125 to be allocated for driving range enhancements. The analysis to increase revenues at the golf course, city staff is working on several improvements. Enhancements to the driving range will increase revenues, and the city has identified a sole source company, Cover the Tees, to construct 20 covered bays, 200 feet by 25 feet that will house technology for the driving range. The cost of constructing 20 covered bays is $213,750. Recommendation, staff recommends the approval to purchase the covered bay system from Cover the Tees to complete the construction of 20 covered bays for the driving range in the amount of $213,750. That said, I'll stand for any questions.
So does that cover just the where you tee off, or is that going to be like shaded for like like it looked like on the picture had tables and stuff out there?
Right, Mayor and Council, good question. So that will cover all of what you just said. So the bays each will be 25 feet deep, so that will allow for a tee-off area as well as a sitting area in the back. Our plan right now, depending on how funding works out, is to have at minimum a picnic table in the rear where folks can sit while someone's up front utilizing the driving range.
Excited about this. Thank you for looking into it.
Thank you.
And this 213,000 is from when we reallocated the money from like the cameras and the signs, and this isn't an extra, right?
Mayor and Council, great question. This is not extra. This is the reallocated funds, yes.
I forgot where we reallocated it from.
Mayor and Council, so another good question. We had originally set aside $100,000 for what we called the wedding area, building out the north side of the clubhouse. Part of the request was to reallocate some of those funds for what we're now calling, this is not the official name, but the 18th hole event area. There was another $100,000 originally allocated for the entryway. A large portion of those funds have been reallocated, so I believe we wound up at about $10,000 from the entryway, moving the rest of those funds over to the driving range.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, I move that we approve the purchase of driving range amenities.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the driving range stuff. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, then we'll move on to item number 17. Number 1, Resolution R25-034, Staff Position Policies.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request for the Mayor and Council to approve Resolution R25034, adopting the revised staff positions policy as part of the City of Safford HR Personnel Manual. The City of Safford's current policy on staff position creation has been revised to reflect a more structured, collaborative, and strategic approach to workplace planning. The updated policy incorporates clearer procedures, accountability, and alignment with the city's budget process. Key updates include integration with the budget process, roles of department heads specified, detailed job description requirements listed, formalized review procedures are listed, and collaborative review and final approval that explains final recommendations will be presented to the City Council for approval, with final authorization contingent on organizational need and available appropriations. Staff recommends that the Mayor and City Council adopt the revised staff positions policy of the City of Safford HR Personnel Manual by approving Resolution R25034. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
I know the answer to this already, I think, Danielle, but just for clarification, no personnel changes or additions, nothing in this section that changes. It will all come through us for approval.
Mayor,
Eventually.
Council, that is correct, yes.
Thank you.
Same question.
That, I don't know, that, what was the need to change this? It seemed to have been working fine.
The current policy didn't detail our current process. So the intent of redoing this policy was to simply state exactly what our process is now.
So
I don't think the policy had been reviewed for quite some time.
how did we get anything done?
The procedure just developed over time. And so, like I said, the intent of this policy is to align with what we're currently doing. I can't say it's completely different. It's just more detailed.
I myself would like to look into this more. It almost seems like more is being taken out of the council's hands before it gets looked at. And some of this seems to be developed and then brought to the council for decision after the fact. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I sure would like more time to look it over and see the reasoning. I don't know if this would affect morale either.
So, Mayor, Council, the current process just simply, and what's described in this policy is that your department heads will put in their requests with city management. They'll develop their job description. They work with HR, finance, and the city manager's office to get everything organized. We want to make sure we have the correct pay range in order. We have the correct budget appropriations in order, that kind of thing, all before it comes to council, and then it's presented to council with city manager recommendations, and then you guys have final decision.
Which is what we've been doing.
Correct.
It sounds like it's only going to be coming to us at the same time as budget based on the wording. So now
Right.
we'll only be voting on new positions and changes during budget season, which is already overburdened for us.
Mayor, council, that is the current process. It's believed to be the most streamlined process to bring it through the budget cycle.
I'd like to see it be different. We have so much that we're doing in budget. I feel like we already miss a lot.
Mayor, Councilwoman Brantner, that is the proper procedure. The council is the holder of the purse string. So if we come to you with a position, you have to fund that position. And so the time to come to you to do that is during the budget process. Now, there were a couple of instances, the first of which dealt with the police department, and that was quite some time ago, that we basically changed the number of positions out of cycle. It's not beyond the pale that you could do so. It's just generally not advised based on your revenue estimates and changing personnel. But the personnel budget is critical to the budget process, so you would want to do it during that process. And the other thing I would want to point out to the council is that the opening sentence for the policy states the following: staff positions within the city shall be established only with the approval of the city manager and city council through the city budget process. So again, we would not approve positions. You would have to approve the position because through the budget process, you would have to fund that position. So that's why they tend to be coterminous.
Would the recommendations from the staff get to us, or do you two filter them out?
How would they not get to us, Vice Mayor? How would the
Right
creation
now,
of
I know you
positions?
had your discussion, you're ready to
I
side with
haven't,
him.
I haven't had a
And
discussion.
so what I'm saying is that we're getting a little top-heavy. I'm looking for people in the park and things like that. I'm hoping that the recommendations of the staff, we can hear them as a council, what they are requesting, and not get filtered out down below. If we are in part of the decision-making, I'd like to hear it at the beginning.
Isn't that how we're doing it currently?
I don't want this to block that.
It will not. It's very explicit.
The policy was updated to fit what we've been doing.
I'm hoping so. That's why I'm asking.
Well-
I don't want anything to block it, because we made a distinction between administrative procedure and procedure things and what council does. I want to make sure we have that definition, because I feel we're getting some things taken out of our hands.
Right, and I want to point out something, just briefly, and I won't be combative about it. Don't presume, Vice Mayor, what I have or haven't done in conversations with anybody. Don't do that again.
Okay, but now
Point of order.
we
Can we-
want Alma. She has something to say. You guys
I
can please.
I do want to point out that one of the last statements here under your procedure says, the city manager, human resources, and finance will review the request with department heads during departmental budget meetings. Recommendation will be made to council for final approval. That statement makes me believe that a department head could come to you with a request that you deem unnecessary, and so it may not come to council. Could that be a scenario?
Mayor Ortega, Councilwoman Flores, no. And so what you will remember is that in our budget meetings, there is a column for the city manager recommendation, and there is a column for the departmental recommendation. And so in our presentations, I specifically designed the budget documents so that it differentiates between what was requested by the department and what I recommend. So you will always see both. If there's a difference between the two, it will be very, very clear. The other issue is that the vice mayor and I had a conversation regarding this, and my discussions were that there was some question about I thought it was more about job descriptions, and so we do some preliminary meetings in non-quorum groups, which we could bring those documents, and during the budget process to make it a public process. If you want to see the job description so you can dig down deeper into what those positions are actually doing, we can do that. The way it's written, the way it is because there are different needs. So the department may have a need, but they may not be able to articulate that need in the appropriate position. Therefore, HR is involved to make sure that the appropriate position is used. We have always brought all the positions. We don't necessarily bring the job descriptions, but we could. And for a very, very, very long time now in doing these budgets, it has been my effort repeatedly to let the departments ask for what they want. It has been my effort to create documents that show my recommendation versus what is requested. So it's baked into the budget process. I will not be not giving you positions, right? You will get all the requests. I may not recommend them, but you will get them all.
That would be my expectation is that, I do want to hear your recommendation, but I also want to know that we are being given everything.
You are being given not only all the positions, but you will be given all the operational requests. Again, that column will be presented to you. You will see my recommendation and the variance between those two columns. So not only will you get the request from the departments, you'll get all their operational requests as well.
Thank you.
I don't know how to say this because part of it was in our current meeting we had that we can't discuss out here, but I thought there was something that was not brought forward because you weren't aware of what it was. So it did not make the budget. So is that same thing, could that same thing happen with this?
No.
Okay. And so those types of things are in your recommendation, but I didn't, like in the budget, you said it didn't come forward. Is,
I don't recall if it did or not on Dark Trace. Did we ever put that in the budget? Yeah, I don't recall. But we took a more comprehensive approach because the explanation was just incomplete.
And I do hope the job descriptions come from the staff because they do know better than you or the human resources what they are. So I hope they develop from them and they get to you because, I mean, she's categorizing them with the market value and stuff. She does her expertise and you have yours. But you two do not know the job descriptions as well as they do out here in the field.
Well, Mayor Ortega, Vice Mayor Lopez, what HR would do wouldn't be to change necessarily what the needs are for the department. What they would be for is to say, given the needs that you're expressing, what is the best job title to fit those needs? So again, they may know what they're doing in the field. They may not know exactly what that job is called. That's why both parties participate because each of them bring their own level of expertise. In working together, they give you the best answer.
That's what I'm hoping for.
So actually, in our proposed budget, it was proposed that Dark Trace was part of the department suggested, and the manager decided not to put that in his suggested. So it was in the department one.
Okay, any more discussion on resolution 25-034? If not, it's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R25-034.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number R25-034. Oh. All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
This approves resolution number R25-034 with a 5-2 vote with Councilwoman Bratner and Vice Mayor Lopez opposing. Resolution number R25-034 is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, adopting a revised staff positions policy and the Human Resources Policy Manual for the City of Safford employees.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to item number 2, resolution R25-035, outside employment policy.
This is a request for the mayor and council to approve resolution R25-035, adopting the revised outside employment policy as part of the city HR personnel manual. Background: the city of Safford recognizes that employees may engage in outside work or self-employment, but such activities must not interfere with their responsibilities to the city. The existing policy has been revised to improve clarity, reinforce performance expectations, and ensure consistency with related policies such as the conflict of interest policy. The proposed changes have been added by legal counsel, who have confirmed that the revisions are appropriate and recommended for adoption. Their review ensures the updated language aligns with the current legal standards and best practices in public sector personnel management. Key updates include expanded performance expectations. The updated policy explicitly states that outside work will not be accepted as a justification for poor job performance, absenteeism, tardiness, refusal to travel, or refusal to work overtime or varied hours. This addition reinforces the city's expectations that outside employment must not compromise an employee's availability or effectiveness. The next update clarified language on city reputation. The revised policy strengthens language around the potential reputational risks, stating that outside work must not compromise the integrity or credibility of the city, in addition to the employee's effectiveness. There's additional refined procedures section, disciplinary consequences listed, and we have maintained the cross-reference to the conflict of interest policy. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council adopt the revised outside employment policy of the city HR personnel manual by approving resolution R25-035. With that, I'll stand for questions.
I just have questions on the wording
Okay.
because it's kind of vague about like the, I lost my wording, I'm sorry, about our reputation.
Mhm.
And just as an example, I mean, we've got several employees that I know of that do like electrical outside or they do construction outside. And I mean, a couple of them I have heard complaints about, and they're
Mhm.
like, oh, well, he works for you, and nah, 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 nah. So where do we draw that line? Because if we've got someone upset at an employee because maybe they did a shoddy job or they gave a quote that was too high or whatever, you know, that already kind of looks bad on the city, but it's pretty vague. I think it leaves it too open for interpretation. There's not really any specifics of
Mayor,
what reputational harm could be.
Mayor, Council, I think probably the better policy to reference that would be our code of conduct policy. In that policy, it does give specifics as far as the city's reputation and that kind of thing. So,
Is the policy for the police department different?
Mayor, Council, that I would rely on the captain, police captain, to answer.
So our current off-duty policy is basically requires approval of the chief of police, and there's specific guidelines. Basically, you can't go work for another police agency performing police duties. You can't go do work security at like bartending, bouncing, medical marijuana places. There are certain stipulations that are built within our policy. I apologize, I'm not completely prepared to answer all of it. I can just give you the gist of what our process is. And like I said, it's
I
there's
mean,
some,
there's bound to be some differences because you get to utilize city equipment.
correct. I believe they're reimbursed basically for that.
So the policy's different, and Human Resources isn't aware of the policy.
Mayor, Council, I have not read their specific policy in this regard, but as far as their department specifically, their policy would trump this one. I'm sure it goes into more detail.
And the police department falls under the manager.
Yes.
So some form of policy. We lost policy, that's several years ago, and we didn't have any idea what the police was doing. So when do we go back and update their policies?
Mayor, Council, I believe they're bringing their policies to you once a year. You'd have to remind me when that is typically, but they just recently did that. I thought they did that last year.
Do you have say over them too?
Not that specific policy manual. They have legal counsel that they're using to draft those policies, and then they're bringing them to you guys for approval.
When an employee is seeking, or goes to a supervisor and asks permission to have an outside job, and the supervisor says no, he turns him down, does the employee have any, is that the end of it?
Mayor, council, they can have those discussions with HR as well. I would hope that the supervisors using their discretion, I don't think they should be denying that outside employment unless there's a specific reason. It would be breaking this policy or some sort of conflict of interest. But certainly the employee can come to HR as needed for those discussions.
Thank you.
Right, and then and it's also built in, as she has written here, any impact on the performance of their own job with us would be something to consider.
Do you deal with the police department issues the same way you do the other employees?
Mayor, council, I would say for the majority of the time, of course, they have the Police Officers Bill of Rights that makes some of our processes different. So it's a collaboration between HR personnel manual policies versus their policies, and yeah, we have to work through both manuals to accomplish what we need to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If not, it's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-035, outside employment policy.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution R25-035, outside employment policy. All in favor? Opposed?
This approves resolution number R25-035 with the vote of 5-2, with Councilwoman Bratner and Vice Mayor Lopez opposing. Resolution number R25-035 is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, adopting a revised outside employment policy in the Human Resource Policy Manual for City of Safford employees.
Then we'll move on to number 3, Resolution R25-036, staff attire.
This is a request for the mayor and council to approve Resolution R25-035, adopting the revised staff attire policy as part of the City of Safford HR Personnel Manual. Background: the City of Safford's current dress code policy has been revised to reflect modern workplace standards, clarify expectations, and ensure consistency across departments. The updated policy provides more detailed guidance on acceptable attire, incorporates inclusive considerations, and aligns with the city's commitment to professionalism and public service. Key updates include an expanded scope, clear definitions of business casual, an updated list of unacceptable attire, cultural, religious, and medical accommodations, clarified enforcement procedures. Staff recommends that the mayor and city council adopt the revised staff attire policy of the city HR personnel manual by approving resolution R25-036.
Anybody have any questions?
Why are we putting jeans as business casual? I mean, maybe I'm older, but as far as I knew, jeans were not business casual, and I don't feel if you're client or community facing, you should be in jeans at all. I think it's very unprofessional. We're a city, we're professional, and we need to represent as such. If I walked up to someone in a suit, they're gonna have more credential to me, more business-like than if I walk up to somebody in a pair of jeans. They're more relaxed, you're not really putting off that vision that the city's trying to go for.
Mayor, council, it's been the culture of the city that employees do wear jeans for quite some time. And this policy's been discussed with city management, and there was no thought to change that culture.
I have a follow-up to that, and I don't disagree in principle with what Councilwoman Bratner's saying. My line of work is similar, I think, and I've been at schools where, I was at Wilcox, where nice jeans were fine, and at Safford, it's only a Thursday thing. And my experience is it doesn't change in the slightest what happens in anybody's classroom. So yeah, I lost my train of thought for a second. I would hope that we would apply that to council if we're going to change it.
And just, Mayor and council, You know, we did have a lot of discussion on this because business casual usually is something to do with slacks, but I know, for example, our public works director always wears jeans, right? And he's very forward facing. I've been to any number of luncheons, parades, formal meetings, public meetings with the county, with FEMA, with Safford, or with Thatcher. A lot of their electeds and people are dressed in jeans. So again, the idea of keeping with the culture was exactly that. That's where most of the people that I work with end up with. Unless there's really a formal meeting, we decided that it wasn't something that fit the culture that I know the meetings that I'm going into. That doesn't mean we can't change it, take it out, that's fine. But just for the thought process was, I'm in meetings all the time and they're formal meetings and people are wearing jeans, and it's not just the city of Safford, it's a lot of the folks that we deal with.
I get a lot of comments on Mr. Bejarano about how he's always in a suit. He always looks sharp. He always represents us well. So I thought that was pretty nice. And I've thanked those people and I've passed those compliments on to him.
I understand what you're saying about jeans in certain levels of employment,
Mhm.
but most of the clothing that we get for our employees are jeans. And so that's what they wear. I don't know if the department heads, if they got the clothing from who we get clothing from, they'd probably be jeans. So it's kind of hard there.
Oh,
But
well, I wouldn't want to see the water department out in jeans in a hole. That would kind of not be fun for
there's
them.
a different level, and they'll have to take it upon themselves. to
Or
look
not in
professional.
jeans, I guess.
And, you know, there's a big difference between a nice pair of jeans being worn clean and all that, you know, compared to one that the new modern ones with holes all over them, and you know, that's a different story. But I think no matter a pair of Levi's jeans, if they're clean and neat, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I don't wear jeans.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons that we're here today, right? If you look at every single one of these policies, all they are is revisions to pre-existing policies. So again, this is exactly the kind of conversation you want to have. And of course, the council can set that standard. We simply, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. So again, it's up to the council to decide. This is what our take was as a first blush at it.
But this dress code doesn't address that our employees make an effort to have logos on their clothing that identifies them.
And Mayor, Vice Mayor Lopez, I think any employee engaging with the public should be in a uniform that does have some level of identification. I know we have had this conversation before. New hats have been ordered that more clearly say City of Safford on them. So I think that has been addressed at some level. At least it should have been. It is a discussion that we have had.
Anybody else? If not, it's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-036, staff attire policy.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution R25-036, staff attire policy. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
This approves resolution number R25-036 with a vote of 5-2, with Councilwoman Bratner and Vice Mayor Lopez opposing. The resolution R25-036 is a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, adopting a revised staff attire policy in the Human Resources Policy Manual for the City of Safford employees.
Thank you. Now we'll move on. Item number 4, resolution R25-042, resident ID cards.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, Matthew Hoschel, Deputy Finance Director. This is a request for the Mayor and City Council to approve Resolution R25-042, the implementation of the Resident ID Card Program, a new initiative designed to verify city residency for access to city-operated facilities and services and to provide City of Safford resident rates. The program also supports the verification of customers eligible for the once-per-month landfill disposal benefit, included in city residential trash service. The strategic goals here are financial management and quality of life. The City of Safford provides a variety of services and amenities to residents, including landfill access, recreational programs, library services, and the municipal golf course. Historically, verifying residency and eligibility for City of Safford resident rates or landfill benefits has been inconsistent and labor-intensive. To address this, the Finance Department, through the Customer Service Division, has developed a resident ID card system that allows staff to verify residency and service eligibility efficiently and securely. The program will issue photo ID cards containing a QR code that can be scanned at participating city facilities to confirm validity. Resident ID cards will be available to all residents living within city limits. Residents with active city utility accounts in good standing will receive full benefits, including eligibility for the monthly landfill disposal program. Residents who do not receive city utility services but reside within city limits will be eligible for resident rates to access other city facilities and programs. Dependents may be added to the back of a parent or guardian's card for access to applicable services. Cards will be valid for 1 year from the date of issuance and can be renewed annually. Lost or damaged cards may be replaced. The cards will be issued at City Hall by customer service staff and through an online request system for the residents' convenience. The Customer Service Division will manage the program's issuance, renewals, and replacements, ensuring data privacy consistent with utility account standards. Misuse of the card will result in revocation and may be subject to fines or legal action if fraudulent activity is identified. The program requires minimal startup costs as it utilizes existing customer service infrastructure and technology already available to the city. Any minor operational costs will be offset by replacement card fees and increased efficiency in service delivery. It is recommended that the City Council approve the Resident ID Card program as an administrative initiative managed by the Finance Department and authorize staff to proceed with program rollout and community outreach to inform residents of the program's availability and benefits. In your packet, you have the resolution, the card policy, the administrative guidelines for staff, and then also the standard operation procedures for staff as well. And I turn it to council for questions.
I noticed in the policy that we're relying really heavily on the address being on their ID, but are we very aware that, like, if you go to DMV, they don't give you a new ID with your new address, they just update it online? So how is that gonna work? Because I don't wanna force someone to go pay to get a brand new ID in the mail in a week, just so that they can have an address on their ID for us.
I think
Is there any workaround for that?
Mayor, Councilwoman Brentner, I believe that it would be acceptable if they brought a voter registration ID, any form of identification that says where their address is currently, because without that, we can't look up that they're like validly in the city limits.
So like a utility bill would work with their address?
So if they already have a utilities account, then they wouldn't need that.
They
right?
don't need the.
They wouldn't need the
So
address, the
This
ID
card
card.
is only for non-city residents or?
Correct. We would only need to verify identification of address if they do not have a utility account. We would be able to verify that obviously the address that's on the utility account would be within the city limits, or we could verify then if it is in the city limits.
And is this gonna be the card or is this gonna be electronic also?
Good question, Mayor, Councilman Brentner. There is both. So you can get a physical card if preferred, or there is a phone application that has a virtual card that will act the same manner.
Mayor. Matthew, I would need to reread the actual policy more closely, but was there language that going forward, somebody could still use a utility bill or other proof at any, currently it's just a landfill, but at any place where we might charge a separate or a non-resident fee?
Steal a utility bill or a card? Is that the question?
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
just want to clarify that if we changed the fee structure at the pool and I showed up with a utility bill instead of a card, would we accept that?
Mayor, Councilman Hemphill, currently, no, that would not allow anyone to get into the pool. The only The only place that we currently accept utility bills to get access for a City of Safford rate or the free dump is at the landfill.
Right, but that's currently the only place we have that.
Correct.
So if we roll into
That
some
is
others,
that is not current practice. I would strongly suggest against that. I would suggest going to just the card at those locations.
Right, and Mayor and Council Member Hemphill, one of the things that we're looking at, regardless of whether or not we charge for resident versus non-resident, is being able to easily identify a resident from a non-resident for the purposes of how do we get pressure on our facilities. So right now, the one area where we're already differentiating between the two is the landfill. We've had several issues with that. So essentially, the medium by which we identify the person would be no different than like someone sending a text versus sending a letter. It's a different technology. And so the idea is to try and, as our strategic goals indicate, use technology to make it easier to not only identify people, but to track that for purposes of pressure on those facilities and usage. So initially, we'd roll it out. We wouldn't right now. You don't have to identify yourself at the pool. And so the idea would be if the cards are successful at the landfill, that individuals could then add the pool, add the library, add the golf course, anywhere where you might have a non-resident or versus a resident. It would allow you to track that with a database that would help us budget better. So typically, right now, you don't have to have anything to get in the pool. And if you did need something, it wouldn't be probably a utility bill.
You said that it's a minimal cost. How much is it?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, currently there's no cost. It's
How much is this going to cost?
so the main cost that has already been, we've already paid for the card machine, and then I think 500 cards. I don't know the exact cost of how much the cards cost. 1,300 for 500. So it'd be $1,300 for 500 cards.
We've already purchased the machine.
The machine is already purchased.
You already had a go-ahead to do this.
We ran through, we piloted, we tested, we made sure customer service was able to go through the process to roll out.
That's almost similar to what we were talking about earlier, but we'll let that argument stay there. But so we already have identification with our bills. Why can't they continue to use the bills?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, so currently there is no, as we have it, there's no problem with them continuing to use their bills at the landfill. I would strongly advise against other locations when we were to roll out using cards at those locations, using utility bills. Because
it's more important at other locations to you. Because all the information that you're putting on these cards can be put on the bill. A QR code, other people that can use it.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, the only data that is on these cards is a photo and then whether or not they're eligible for a benefit at the landfill, any dependents they have on there. There's no address anywhere on the cards. There is an address. So it just has their address. That's all it has. It doesn't have any other personal information.
It seems like everything could be achieved by putting the information on the bill, and we wouldn't have all this added expense and to do it.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, what other information are you talking about?
You said we could use a QR code. We could they already have their address. You said other people could use their card. Their names could be on there too. All the information that you're putting on this card could be on the bill.
The card is used, the QR code is used in the system to scan it to verify whether they're a resident and whether they have up-to-date services, utility services. That is what the card is to assist with. It would be similar as if I were to bring a utility bill. Now, the problem with the utility bill is I could bring a utility bill from 3 months ago, and that technically would not allow me to get the service at that location because it's not a current utility bill, which is our current practice. And also, we've had many times where people have come to the landfill with a Thatcher water or our water in Thatcher. So it's a Safford utility bill for water and just Thatcher, which does not give them trash service, right? We don't provide trash service to Thatcher. They come to the landfill wanting a free dump because they have a utility bill, but that's not applicable because they don't have the trash service in Safford. So what would make it easier is if we had the QR code, you have a card, you come and scan it, it already goes through in that process on our side and it says yes or no, whether they're up to date, yes or no, whether they live in the city. The card makes it so we don't have to go through digging through utility bills, people having to bring utility bills. That also can be on your phone. So it just makes it more streamlined for us.
And an added money. But anyway, and it says in here that we can fine them.
We can find them.
Fine them for certain reasons. We could fine them if they, you don't know that there's a
So
fine involved
Mayor,
in
Vice
here?
Mayor, the fine would be if they do identity theft. So that's if you steal somebody's card, and that's valid if I steal somebody's driver's license or if I stole somebody's utility bill and tried to get a free dump. That's identity theft. That's the fine.
I just didn't know we had the authority to fine them for identity theft.
I think the language was that they could be subject to law enforcement.
Correct.
That's where the fine would come from, is if
Any applicable fines
we're
or fees.
exposed to.
And just for the record, Mayor and Council, the whole point here is that we're using a technology that is more modern as opposed to having people carry a paper bill around with them everywhere. And we are also looking at trying to use that technology potentially at other facilities other than the landfill. And the idea being that any way that we can do to enforce any kind of rule. So initially it would be at the landfill. It may never be anything more than that. I think we owe it to the people in the city of Safford that we're able to enforce rates that we just passed, for example, at the landfill. It does us no good to have a resident, non-resident rate if we can't identify those who are non-residents. And if we go forward after the user fee study is done, and we'll bring you the results of that so you can see what you spend on various facilities and the level of cost recovery. And, you know, the council was ready to pass pool rates that contain non-resident rates in them. I'm the one who stopped that so that we could do a more comprehensive look at user fees citywide. So again, all we're looking at, the cards themselves would contain the same information that a bill contains, although they would have a photo, which would make it easier to identify the person who is coming to the landfill. So again, the idea is simply enforcement so that you're charging the right people the right amount of money, and you're using technology to better track those users of it. I mean, if somebody comes to the landfill with a paper bill, well, what's the difference if the bill is a paper bill or a plastic card or a QR code? It still identifies the person and their residency. There's no additional information being gathered. Now, the benefit would be if we do say, which council was ready to do before, which was to charge non-resident fees at the pool, you could have that individual have their ID for the landfill, and then that same card can contain their usage of the pool. If that person then decided they wanted to use the golf course, it could contain the landfill, the pool, and the golf course. And so it helps you to track the users of your facilities, which I would think you would want to do if you want to determine where your monies are flowing based on resource utilization. So it simply is a different medium to contain the same information, and a picture ID would make it more easy to identify the person, as opposed to if I pull up and I don't know somebody and it has a name on it, it's a guy and it has a guy's name on it, it has an address. How do I know that it's that person? So it really is an enforcement mechanism to allow us to, you know, provide the citizens with Safford with the right kind of charges for the right types of people using their facilities.
I can see it expanding as time goes on, the use of a card, golf course, a lot of different things. So
And
I
just
think it's a good
just to
move.
clarify, I like the cards.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if a bill could be used as a fallback, as a
Yes.
just in case kind of thing.
Yeah, and-
I'm not concerned about the information. The information's the same. We already have the information. My question was just, could somebody still, if for whatever reason,
Yes,
husband's out of
Yes.
town, card's in his wallet, can I show up with my utility bill
right, at the
and get in
landfill.
wherever?
Yeah. Well,
That's all that
we
was-
wouldn't necessarily use it at every single
And-
facility.
Right, but that was the
Mayor,
point of my
Councilman
question.
Hemphill, so a portion of this is educating the public on this new thing that we have as well, if council does choose to pass it. The nice thing is that if husband is out of town and they have their card in their wallet, wife would still be able to pull it up on her phone with the app. So they would also be able to utilize their phone for that. We did talk about still using the utility bills for some time as we transition and try to get more people online with the resident ID cards, that they could still use it at the landfill. Obviously, right now, the landfill is the only place that we're planning on rolling this out with. And so it's going to be a learning experience at the landfill if council does pass these cards with that. Another thing I did want to point out, hopefully they answer your question, Councilmember.
Yes.
Another thing I want to point out is that we did pass this in the budget. So in IT's operating supplies, we did have $20,000 for the card machine and for cards throughout the year.
So I wasn't for it then. I think we're forcing more government on our citizens. And we have means to do it already. So I think the bottom line is to try to is the target's the golf course. So
I'm
That's
just, Mayor and Vice Mayor, I'm just curious, how are we forcing more government on the citizens and what?
have a bill to identify themselves to go to the landfill. They can use the bill like they always have been.
Right, but that's not government. It's a different medium by which to identify yourself. You're
I'm
still,
part of the government in this city, and you're asking me to make them have a card. And if they don't get a card, I can fine them.
no, misuse of the card was the fine, and we don't have to. Again, the reason we're having this conversation is,
Okay, we've
yeah,
been
we
there
don't, we
too.
don't have to do it. Again,
Yes.
this is something that if council decides
Well-
that it's something that is distasteful or they feel it's an inappropriate approach, then if you want to keep carrying a utility bill around with you and go to the landfill with it, that's fine. If we do move forward and we do talk about non-resident fees for other facilities, it may become somewhat problematic. Everybody's running around with a piece of paper in their hand when they could do a QR code, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it. We're
I
simply.
want to
agreeing-
quit arguing about it because it's getting late, but what's the difference between carrying a card and carrying your bill? The argument is the same that you're
Well,
bringing
because
forward.
the card allows us to build a database we can track. You don't have to have a physical card. You can have a QR code on your phone. If you
I'm
want.
done with the
Okay, since
conversation.
it's getting late.
I believe Councilmember McGoy has some input.
Well, I just wanted to say that it's not the same because I don't know where my utility bill is and it always needs to be the last one and I got to keep track of it and I'm not gonna. I want a card, please.
You can have it on your phone.
I wish to have a
They
card,
said you
please.
could have it on your phone.
I wish to
your
have a
bill.
card, please.
Okay, now, okay. We've discussed this enough.
Yes, we have.
Resolution R 25-042 residential ID cards. It's an action item.
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R 25-042.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution R 25-042. That's the resident ID cards. All in favor? Opposed?
This approves resolution number R 25-042 with a vote of 6-1 with Vice Mayor Lopez opposing. Resolution number R 25-042 is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Safford, Graham County, Arizona, adopting a resident ID card policy to establish eligibility, issuance, and administrative guidelines for the city's resident ID card program.
Thank you, B.
Mayor, just another point. I would encourage council, maybe a future operational item we can bring back and we can show the cards and we can show the process. Or if council members would like, they can come down to customer service and see how the cards are issued, how we go through that process. So just putting that out there.
Okay, then we'll move on to item 18. It's financial reports for July and August 2025. Number one is the P card reports. Any questions or?
there was a lot because we pushed this over to the other side, but like, I still like to encourage buying within the city limits when we can. If it's there, if it's offered there. I guess I have the example this time, and only one, because we're late, is like the clerk's office bought a refrigerator at Home Depot, and I don't know if they didn't try Green's Furniture first. They have refrigerators.
Mayor,
That's
Vice
just
Mayor Lopez, so
station.
yes, we did, our first one was to Green's Furniture. It
Mhm.
was way out of price and the size that we needed for our printer room where our refrigerator goes in, they didn't have that size. So we only had that option. We tried even Walmart, but we couldn't even get one through Walmart, so Home
Yeah,
Depot
because
was,
you were in a $300 range. Well,
right, we
good.
try to keep it
I'm,
very, very low. If I
yeah,
could have gone on yard sale sites, I would have gone that way, but
good.
I'm really
That-
cheap, so,
Well,
but,
then it,
yeah,
then
we.
it, then
Or
it is
Chelsea
having
Safford.
some, it is having some effect. Thank you, B.
Yes.
Anybody else? If not, we'll go to item 2, revenue over $5,000. Expenses over $5,000. Anything else? We'll move on to item number 22. Announcement of current events. Anybody?
Reminder for the parade tomorrow morning. I had a email scheduled sent by 9 p.m. tonight. 'Cause I thought we would be out here by then. But your emails probably just went off, but the lineup is over on 3rd Avenue. So it'll be by Washington Federal and Thrifties. And that's where you'll line up, and then it's going to come west towards the courthouse to start the ceremony at that time.
I forget, are you off tomorrow, B?
For after the parade, I am.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, Jessica and I will be there decorating the truck. She helped me out this time and took handle of all the decorations. I've been too busy, so.
And I'll be down. I won't be writing because I'll be down at City Hall with the Honor Guard. I'll already be down there.
Mayor, just 2 quick points I'd like to point out. Today is the 250th anniversary of the United States Marine Corps. Happy birthday and Semper Fi to all Marines, you included, Mr. Mayor. And then also tomorrow is Veterans Day, so I'd like to say first off, thank you to all the men and women who have graciously served our great nation, and to invite the public out to our Veterans Day parade tomorrow at 10 a.m., followed by an event at the courthouse at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Can I just, real quickly, the Legion had a dinner for the Marines. And we're out there, we went to the Legion, and they gave us a gift. Now, you'd have to know a Marine, okay? Anyway, the little gift they gave us was a pretty good-sized shot glass with a bullet in it. That was our big shot glass.
Eric, did you get anyone to be able to go to the veterans at the VFW dinner? I know you were asking for someone to go represent the city.
Yes, Mayor and Council, Councilmember Flores has offered, and I have extended that to the VFW so they are aware. Thank you.
And it being your birthday, Mayor, and yours, Marines. This year too, we have a Marine, we put his flag up. Ira Hayes, who was the last native, if you see the statue where they're raising the flag when they got to island of Suribachi on Iwo Jima, and he's the last one depicted on that statue where they're raising the flag. That's Ira Hayes, one of our local, not real local, but he's still an Apache. And his flag is up out there this year.
I have 2 things. I do believe that it is a council member's birthday today too. So we can recognize that council member.
You've been recognized at lunch. He wants to go home to get recognized.
It's their birthday.
Uh,
I'm in
we won't
trouble.
sing. I won't.
Please don't sing.
But the second thing is, next week we will have our auditors on site in the finance department. So if we are a little late on responses or stuff, it's probably because we're doing a lot of stuff with the auditors, getting stuff for them, getting stuff ready for them. So just kind of a note for all you council members that they will be on site next week with us in the finance department.
Anybody have any
Don't come.
requests? Any requests for future agenda items? Go
I
ahead.
have one, Mayor, just in light of some of these policies coming forward. I would like to see our employee grievance policy, and I'd like to see it in a work session.
Anybody else? If not, we'll need a motion.
Whether we adjourn?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? We're adjourned.